American football in Finland.
A voice in your ears, perfect Pervis, and welcome to another episode of American Football in Finland. I'm here with my co-host Q Floyd.
What's going on, people?
And we have another great show lined up for you today. As usual, before we get into the football, how was your weekend, Q?
Hey, my weekend was great, man. I cannot say that I watched a lot of great games this weekend, but, it was cool.
Agreed. Didn't see a lot of good football on the weekend, but big shout out to my brother and sister-in-law. They had their 15-year-old confirmation on Sunday
Oh,
in
nice.
Finland. So
Nice.
got to see that part of the world. It was really fun for us. Let's get into some football, man.
Game balls.
Let's give out a few game balls from last weekend. Who impressed you this week, Q?
Man, look here, man. I'm going to go on and make this known right now. Mr.
Say it.
Dayton win, man. The guy is unbelievable every week. I'm going to say this right now. If this dude...
Yeah, say it now before everybody else
like
jump on
this,
the bandwagon.
he is going to be the Maple League MVP if he keeps it up what he's doing right now.
You heard it here
Averaging
first.
over 300. He averaging over 300 yards a game. He's all over the place. Nobody can cover him one-on-one. Nobody is faster than him. This dude is scoring on everybody. If you don't think Dayton Wynn is the MVP right now, you're a strong-out hater right now. So
Haters.
I'm going to put that out there. Dayton Wynn, he is my MVP candidate right now. If the season ended right now, Dayton Wynn better win the MVP. If it don't, it doesn't end right now. But we got some weeks to go. If he keeps playing the way he's playing, he's the MVP. So my game ball goes to Dayton Wynn.
All right, that makes sense. I'm with you 100% MVP race for that. For me, I'm going to go a little off the beaten path today with my game ball. I want to give my game ball to the Wasa Royals player, the Spaniard, Carlos Carrasco. I don't even know if I'm saying your name right. All right, this guy, he has I think he leads the team in sacks for the season, but in this last game, he had 2 sacks, 5.5 tackles. But the greatest thing about Carlos Carrasco is he creates pressure on the defensive line, but he's also playing left tackle for the Royals. And I'm not talking about every other series. I mean, he's playing both ways, and he's playing left tackle. So he's going against the best defensive lineman, and he's doing a really good job on the offensive line, as well as being a formidable force on defense. And I see this dude every week, and I forgot to mention him last week. It's just really impressive that, one, he physically has the capability to play both of those positions so dynamically. Defensive end and left tackles don't usually have the same physical build. So usually you can't really just swip and swap them. And he's playing both of those positions at a very high level for the Royals. He shouldn't have to. I don't know how much they're paying him, but they need to pay him more. Because, I mean, you got Seppo playing right tackle, and he's only playing offense. But instead of having him play left tackle, they have Carlos there because he's doing his damn thing. So this week, my game ball goes to Carlos Carrasco because I see you out there doing your thing, man, and you need some recognition. People need to know Carlos Carrasco is that dude. Don't think he'll be in the Maple League next year because he's a Spanish guy. He needs to be in the GFL, straight up. All right, so next thing we're going to talk about, we'll get into the games now. First game of the weekend, and obviously this is the game we're going to talk too much on because we have our bias towards the Wolverines. Steelers beat the brakes off of them, 40-21.
The brakes.
What did you see in the game, Q?
I seen a whole lot of Donovan Hayden, and I seen a whole lot of Gerard Johnson. I seen dominating on both sides of the ball. The Wolverines just right now they just don't have it together, man. Defensively, they've given up almost 90 points in 2 games. At this point, you have to make some type of drastic change. I don't know if it's where exactly they're going to do it, but they need to do it at this point in the season. Right now, they have to win out to even get second place. It's going to be hard because Kuopio is on a roll right now. But Donovan Hayden showed out. I mean, he was all over the place. And like to go back to a couple of shows, I said they pay imports to be great and not average. And that's what you pay your imports to do, make a difference in the game. And Donovan Hayden made a difference in that game. He was all over the place. He blitzed. He was in coverage. Sacks, man. The guy was there. Tackles for losses. He saved tackles. Kuopio plays great at home. They played great the first half until the rain came. But they did what they needed to do to win that game, and that was stop the Wolverines offense from doing much, doing what they wanted to do. And the Wolverines just didn't have it together, man. I mean, like I said, I still picked them to win the championship. They're still my number one,
It's a long
team.
season. Yeah.
It's a long season, so I do think they'll get together with the guys on their team, the leaders and the vets they got. But that game was an embarrassment. They took that trip to Kuopio, beautiful Kuopio, man, and just tanked it, man. It just wasn't a good look. But the imports, Gerard Johnson had a hell of a first half too. He made some big plays. Defensively, I'll go back to the Wolverines again, man. It's a lot of those plays I've seen where DBs were standing around, they wasn't running to the ball, they weren't making tackles. The scheme, I didn't like the scheme so much because it just didn't make any sense to me. But like I said, it's a long season. Congratulations to the Kuopio Steelers, man, for getting their get back. From the first time they played them. So now they even, and I do think these teams will see each other again. If everything falls into place, they'll see each other again in the playoffs. So it'll be exciting to see what happens next time they play.
Well, shit, man, you said it. You said pretty much everything I wanted to say. I'm gonna go over my notes, guys. I write notes on all these games. I usually take out a couple of notes so I can remember them because I see so many games. I'm gonna tell you what I saw from the Steelers. They ran the ball really well. Obvious. Their offensive line won up front. This is something that stood out to me because the one thing that I think has been underrated about the Wolverines is their defensive line has been very well all year. But in the last 2 weeks, we've seen weaknesses up there. They've actually lost that battle, and it's made a difference on the back end for their defense. And that's what the Steelers did that I was really impressed by because I've said this many a times. I haven't seen a good offensive line in Maple League yet, except for the Helsinki Roosters. But this week, the Kuopio Steelers proved something to me that their offensive line is worth a damn because they moved guys. They didn't necessarily move them backwards, but they moved them sideways and pushed them more often than not to create holes. It was not that hard of a job for Gerard Johnson this game because there was holes for him to run through. I mean, he obviously did his thing, but them winning up front was really good. Another thing they did was their receivers were winning matchups. In the first matchup with these two guys played, they kept trying to throw to their receivers, and it just never worked. In this game, their receivers were winning. I don't want to hear the Wolverines excuses. Oh, we didn't have TJ, blase. Here's the epitome of what happened in this game. At one point in this game, you had a hitch and go on the outside, and your defensive back from the Wolverines, Eric Irvin, bites on the hitch. So he gets beat on the go. They're in man coverage. The safety, Aku Katanen, smart guy, sees his guy get beat on the double move, tries to help by going over top, but in doing so, the seam route underneath him behind the linebacker, which is where the safety would have been if the cornerback hadn't got beat on double move, is wide open. Steelers score a touchdown. That's what the Wolverines defense looked like all game. I don't give a damn who was playing. It doesn't matter about the matchup if you don't understand the scheme and you're getting beat on simple double move plays. That's what was happening to them in this game. They got outplayed on every level. Defensive line, linebackers, secondary. Everybody got outplayed. Linebackers weren't covering nothing. Linebackers weren't making no tackles. Every level they got beat. And instead of me saying, well, the Wolverines got beat, I want to let it know that the Steelers beat them. Steelers need credit for this win. Their offensive line showed up. Their running back balled out. Their receivers won the matchup. Seth Peters put the ball on the money. The dude was 21 for 26, 80% completion rate in this game with 3 tugs. The Steelers balled. Before anybody says the Wolverines played bad, the Steelers balled. And that's how it goes. And the imports balled out. Like you said, Donovan Hayden was off the wall. Now, the one thing I will say about the Wolverines, I'm going down my list of notes, guys. Wolverines, Rojo, inaccurate this game. First time I ever seen this. A lot of his passes were just off. He was costing them drives because he wasn't hitting receivers that were open. Or he wasn't making throws that he should usually make. William Young, the most consistent player on the Wolverines. He show up every week. I don't care. 2nd and 40. Give him the ball. He's scoring. That's William Young. That's the one bright spot for the Wolverines right now is that no matter what, William Young is going to do his thing. Defensive backfield just didn't look good. Already went over that. The imports basically didn't show up. Like you said, you get paid. They have more imports than anybody right now, supposedly. Them and Crocodiles, who knows? But the imports didn't show up. The Wolverines imports didn't make a difference in this game, and it showed because the Steelers imports did. Last thing I'm going to say is that offense and defensive strategy of the Wolverines trying, it looked bad. When things got really bad, they got desperate and put Jabari at quarterback. And then they even had Jabari at running back at one time. And then they had Ward at slot instead of playing defense in this game because all that situation with the coaching and all that. Screw all that. Changing what you do without any rhyme or reason is not going to get you success. And that's what the Wolverines did. When this game got to a point where it looked like they didn't know what to do, they just started doing shit. We've seen it every game. Every time Jabari goes in at quarterback, the offense does not get better. So trying something different doesn't work when you have a capable quarterback in Rojo, but having to bring in Jabari changes the entire outlook of that offense. The Wolverines just didn't play well.
Well, agreed. Definitely agreed. I will say this. Like you said about the Wolverines' defensive line. I know they were missing a few people, but I will point out James Perrineau, my boy Jamo. He actually had a great game to me. He gets double teamed probably more than any player in the league, but he still had tackles. Still kind of made a difference in that run game a little bit. He just needed some help from his backers, man, and the backer play isn't just up to par right now for the Wolverines, which is why they're getting ran on the way they're getting ran on. And when you don't have a safety back there, they move Jabari to the nickel, and then we don't have a guy who can make for sure tackles. And once he breaks that front seven, man, it's lights out from there. And I think Gerard Johnson he gets stronger and stronger throughout the game. And I think a lot of times those guys just didn't want to tackle him. Yeah. And the Wolverines, like I say, it's a long season left. Hopefully they'll bounce back from this, man, and make some changes. Like you said, I do think they can figure out a way to use Jabari on offense that'll help them when he does come in the game at quarterback. They just have to figure out why they got to practice it for one thing and to make an effect, because there's no reason why he shouldn't be part of that offense at least every game, some form. At least give him 6 to 7 plays, maybe 8 plays a game where he gets the ball at quarterback and runs, whether it's zone read with William Young, which should be a guaranteed way to get yards. I mean, it's two dynamic runners, and I haven't seen them come out with the zone read package yet, just for them to. But as it showed, like you said, Kuopio just beat them. It's just simple, man.
Better team. I mean, obviously we talking down on the Wolverines, but it is what it is. But the Steelers need that credit, okay? Steelers played a fucking great game, came in there and did their thing. Kudos to them. They're looking real good. It's going to make for an interesting end of the season. The Saints beat the Royals 6-0.
When the Saints go marching
in the league of all the touchdowns, all the points, no defense has ever played, the Saints win 6-0. What were your thoughts on that one, Q?
Well, I did pick the Saints to win.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So I want to throw that out there first, because I know we get the Saints a hard time, man. The Saints. It came down to the Royals were missing a very, very important piece of their offense. I think if Savosta would have played, that game would have went totally different. Agreed. But he wasn't there.
Agreed.
He wasn't there.
He wasn't there.
There's nothing we can do about that now. The next man up, the Royals just didn't finish drives. They didn't finish drive. They do have a nice addition with Alpha. And I just think, like, the Saints, I mean, they scored the touchdown. They needed to score to win the game. At the end of the day, like, it's who scores the more points. And it wasn't a pretty game necessarily, but it was an exciting one when the score is that low. And you just don't know who's going to win. But the Saints, they pulled it off, man. And I'm happy to see them get that win, because I know how that feels when you've been fighting every game. You know what I'm saying, to pull out one, and they pull one out, man. So kudos to the Saints, man.
Yeah, I'm going to go the opposite way on this one. Sorry. Saints, congratulations. You stole one. The Royals shit the bed on this one. Okay, first place, Sawosty out. First of all, everybody needs to realize Tom Sawosty is the man, okay? That's the reason
Definitely,
that this
man.
game went the way it went. The Royals, once he went out, they went to the spread offense, which I was shocked, but it actually looks pretty good. Like you said, with Alpha out there now, and even Nicole has always been a good receiver so far this year, anyways. But Verdez stepped up. Even UC Cos stepped up. Like their offense was moving. They moved the ball in this game consistently enough so that I'm looking at my notes here. Let me look. The Wasa Royals had 4 legitimate chances to score in this game. Twice inside the red zone, one right outside the red zone, and then another like right in that area where it's like the 25-yard line, where they have drives where they're moving the ball and something happens. Backup runner, I don't remember his first name, but his last name is like Barrow or something. I'm sorry. He gave away 2 scores. Dropped a wide open pass in the end zone, dropped it, fumbled inside the 20-yard line. There you go. That's 2 scores. Royals win. Not to mention another drive that stalls inside the 30-yard line. And I understand that, but it's not like the Saints were doing anything specifically on defense to stop them. The Royals out yardaged the Saints in this game, even without Tom
Yeah.
Sawosty. And they had the opportunities. I mean, you got my boy Carlos Carrasco out there balling on defense, getting 2 sacks in the game, playing defense against a great left tackle in Pietola from the Saints. He was an all-star last year, if I'm not mistaken. And this guy's dominating him and playing left tackle. When it all come down to it, the game wasn't won because they didn't have a solution for the Sawosty not playing. They went to a totally different defense, a totally different offense, and credit to Brett Morgan for making that work because I think that spread offense is going to be dynamic going forward. And defensively, they didn't have a problem with the Saints. They stopped the Saints. Saints only scored the one time. But offensively, they had the opportunity to score and just didn't. And in this game, I say the Saints got away with one. Royals, that loss might cost y'all the playoffs. Who knows? In this league, that might be the difference. Y'all lost to the Saints of all people. But congratulations, Saints, on your first win of the season. Last game of the weekend, the Roosters, they put up what I like to call a 50 burger with bacon. Because it wasn't just 50. They scored 66 points. And I don't know if you've seen the post on the podium, 50 burger with bacon. They scored 66 points on the Butchers. Butchers scored 34. What are your thoughts about that one, Q?
Offensively for the Roosters, man, they got it clicking, man. I mean, 100 points in 2 games. As offense coordinator, I know Miko is super happy about that. Miro's playing as well as he needs to right now. I mean, they got so many weapons right now. All the receivers are balling. I think all the receivers might have scored. He had a big game from Adam Conant. Kari, got in the end zone like he needed to. Namdi, he found his way in the end zone twice. I mean, everybody was scoring, man. But offensively, the Roosters are clicking, and that's what you want, coming into this part of the season.
I want to jump in with the stats because you was talking about it.
Yeah, go ahead.
All 4 of their starting receivers scored a touchdown, and 3 of the 4 starting receivers had over 100 yards.
That's major.
Yeah, so just putting that in there. That everybody was getting love, and Miro threw for 496, almost 500, 7 tugs.
Yeah, Miro is doing this thing right now, man. So I get off the offense, but I'll go to that defense. Whew, when you do put up the 50 burger with bacon, when you put up the 50 burger with bacon, defensively, you think most teams that put up points like that, they'll give up a few points.
Mm-hmm.
But Dayton Wynn, man,
makes a difference.
Even though they scored the points that they scored, Dayton Wynn still exposed the Roosters defense. And I think right now,
ask me how many yards he had receiving.
Tell the people how many yards.
I'm looking at the stats right now. Sorry to be one of them stat guys, but Dayton Wynn had 8 receptions for 233 yards.
Come on, man.
That's
MVP,
receiving.
Man. Come on, man. Come on, Dayton Wynn is out. This dude literally can if he had just at least about amount of help on defense where they could just stop somebody, this dude would be going off right now.
Don't
Every
forget,
game, this
he plays
dude's
defense a lot of times.
the guy's in shape, man. He's
Yeah.
all over the place, man. The man has earned his money. I don't know how much money they pay Dayton Wynn, but he needs a raise right now, man.
Give him everything.
Because he exposes everybody. It doesn't matter who you have on your defense. This dude is gonna find his way to the end zone. The Roosters, I just from watching the game, I don't think they just had an answer for him. I don't think anybody out there really could speed wise deal with him. I don't think anybody can cover him. They don't have a DB that can cover him, man. He's just too fast, too quick. He just has a knack for the end zone. And the Roosters got to do a better job of that. I mean, it's hard to say that when they put up so many points, but you don't want to give up, 30-something points. Even if you put the 50 burger, you still kind of defense. You still want to be like, oh, well, you want to limit that to a touchdown or two. Once you put up 60-something, everybody kind of gets relaxed and stuff. But Dayton Wynn showed out on that defense, though. I will give him that, though.
I think with the Roosters in that situation, I agree with you. You can't just let them just run all over you. But I think it was one of those situations where they're we know he's going to get his, and we just going to take what that is and not think it's going to be that much. But I don't think they thought he was going to get his like he did.
Yeah.
I really feel like he outplayed what they thought that they were going to give up. And then at that point, they were like, well, it's not worth changing what we're doing because we're up by so much. But what Dayton Wynn did, and even more credit to Kyle Buchanan, the offensive coordinator for the Butchers, is they didn't give up. This game was out of hand early, and they said, nah, we gonna keep fighting. We're going to keep throwing punches. And that offense, that's what they did. They kept playing. And that's one thing that is going to serve them well going forward in the season is that the Butchers, this offense, it can score with the best of them. I mean, those 34 points, that's nothing to laugh at. Wolverines, how many of y'all scored on them last week? What was that, 13? Mm-hmm. Just saying. Those 34 points, that ain't nothing to laugh at. And that means they got something cooking over there on offense. And the defense played well, but they were outmanned. You got three guys getting over 100 yards, 4 guys scoring touchdowns on offense. Not to mention that Kari could have had more of a day if he wanted to, but they were just doing so well in the passing game that he really didn't have to run the ball that much. But the Butchers offense did put a little bit of pressure to make them want to keep passing the ball. The biggest note I got from this game, I didn't take a lot of notes because it was a blowout and you kind of knew who was going to win even though the Butchers kept fighting. Shout out to Adam Cornett because last year, I 100% thought that he was just a product of his brother throwing him the ball too damn much. This year, and in this game of all games, this dude is taking everything to the crib. He does not care. If he get the ball, he's scoring a touchdown. You kick him the ball, he's scoring a touchdown. You give him a 5-yard out route, he's taking to the crib. He's scoring a touchdown. He get a screen, he's taking to the crib. He's going to the touchdown. He is making himself look like one of the most dynamic players in the league. I know we said Dayton Wynn is easily MVP for the season earlier, but I'm also going to throw Adam Cornett's name in the ring because you got to look at what he's doing. The stats in this league don't keep up with it, but his yak is crazy. Yards after catch. When he catches the ball, he makes those yards from wherever he is, and then he gets a lot of catches. So he's constantly around the ball, and he's just being a really good playmaker. And in this game, he was kind of the difference. Had 10 catches, 195 yards, 3 touchdowns. And I think he had two of those touchdowns were over 50 yards, something like that.
Ooh, it was a crucial one.
Yeah, that's 2 catches for almost 100 yards right there. And then he's catching 3 and 4 yard routes to get the team down the field as well. He's doing everything they need him to do. And he's looking better and better every game. That's what's scary. I mean, Dayton Wynn is great, and I've seen what he's done. He's consistently done it, but Cornett is doing different things for the Roosters every week. He's doing it a different way, and he's just showing his versatility. I mean, I'm just Brandon who right now? Who's that guy? If I'm thinking Cornett, I'm thinking Adam. Cornett, I'm like, Adam, yeah. Nah, Brandon.
He getting off.
The guy in Germany? I don't know about that. I'm all about Adam right now. Team Adam. You feel me? Team Adam. You got anything else on that game?
Nah, I'm done. I'm done with
Okay.
it. That was a massacre.
Yeah, it was just a blowout.
Get it off your chest.
Now we're gonna get it off our chest, man. What's on your mind, Q? Get it off your chest.
Man, I don't know. I was thinking about something, man. Homeowners. This is for the homeowners. I know it's way off the topic of football, but I thought about something.
All
I
right.
said, you know what? If I own my house, why do I still have to pay property tax?
Exactly. I
So
get to that.
technically, that means I don't own it. So I've been trying to figure. I've been asking people all week, like technically, if I own my house, why am I taking property? Why am I paying property tax? So that's what
Because
I've been thinking about, man. That's
because
what I want to get off my chest, man.
you're paying to the property tax is paying to live in that like place. Like you're paying for the right to live in either state, city, country that you're in. That's what it is. Because the land, even though it belongs to you, it all belongs to the government. That's why you're paying that property tax.
And I understand that. I feel like okay, so if I don't pay my property tax, can you take my home? Are you going to take my home? It's mine. I own the home, so you own the land. I own the home. What happens then? I mean, not, well, I don't have a problem with property tax. I just want people to know that I don't have a problem with property
Yeah,
tax,
I get it. I understand. I don't know. I guess I mean if you don't pay it, I mean they usually do take the home.
That's
Like,
crazy.
well, I
That
mean
is that is crazy.
it's just like a whole thing. Like you got to pay taxes to live in certain places, and if it's all different. I don't want to get into too much of that because I don't even live out in the States or nothing, so I'm not
Yeah,
worried
that's
about what.
state's problem, man.
Yeah,
State's
I'm not
problem. That's all.
confirmed with that. I'm a renter for life because I want to live everywhere in the world. That's a good topic though. For me, get it off my chest this week. I gotta be honest. I don't have anything I want to get off my chest. I'm feeling good about
Stop it.
everything. I feel like everything's going all right now. I'm still happy about my brother and sister in law becoming adults now. They can get married in Finland. So no get off my chest. Just shout out to them. It was a good
Okay.
weekend. I'm happy for those two kids growing up. If y'all see it on my Facebook, I put up a little video montage of it. Holla, holla. It's time for fan shoutouts. Fan shoutouts. Look, guys, we trying to, engage with the community. Y'all listening. I'm looking at the downloads. People are listening to the show. So send us an email. Tell us what you want to talk about. If you want, even if it's not in football, I'm gonna open it up. Even if it's not football, maybe you got something you want to get off your chest. We'll read fan email during Get Off Your Chest and let you talk about what's on your mind. So remember, send the email to perfectpervis@gmail.com. Okay? I'm perfectpervis@gmail. Send it, and then we'll see what we got going on.
Cheers to the freaking weekend.
Back to the weekend. What is this, week 8? Yeah, last week was
Yep.
week 7. So Maple League teams are back in action. Thursday, you got Roosters versus Saints. Then you got Steelers at the Crocodiles on Friday. And we finishing up with the Butchers versus the Wolverines on Saturday. Okay? Now, later today, our panel of football experts will pick winners for this week's game. Right now, I'm in second. I'm 14-7. And everybody else is tied in first at 15-6. One game difference. It's so close. And we're making different picks, but somehow it's just working out this way. Those picks can be found on the Podium Facebook page and the Perfect Purpose Facebook page. So getting back to this weekend coming up, Q, what things are you excited about from these games?
Whew. Oh man. I think the game that I guess necessarily looking forward to might be I think the Crocs and the Steelers, man. That's
Yeah.
the game I'm excited to see. Because I picked the Crocs to win this game. Nothing against the Steelers. I just see something in the Crocs, man, that maybe nobody else sees right now, and I'm hoping that they prove me right. But I think the Crocs are gonna go on their run now. I picked them to make the playoffs. So I think they're actually gonna go, on their run. This will be a crucial game. It's in Croc land, man. And if Kuopio don't come with that game plan on point, man, it's gonna be a long day over there. That's all. That's the game I'm looking forward to.
I agree with you on that. I think that probably is going to be the game. I'm thinking it's going towards the Steelers, though. I still don't know. I still haven't made my pick. I kind of want to pick the Crocs because I want to be like you and believe, but I'm just not sold on the Crocs yet because I've seen them just not put teams away like they should and let teams off the hook. Roosters. But you know what I mean? Like I don't feel that from them. So I'm definitely thinking the Steelers are gonna pull this out because there's one person I do trust, and that's Gerard Johnson. That boy can run. He can throw. He can catch. Whatever you need him to do, he can do it. And if you kick the ball to him, he might take to the crib too. I think this is going to be one of those games where like one big play separates the teams. And I feel like the Steelers have that it factor to make that big play. Even Seth Peters, he's been a little less talked about this season than normal, but don't forget he is who he is, and he can be that guy if they really need him to at the right situation. Also, the Butchers Wolverines game I think is going to be interesting. The Butchers have been, even with losses, they've been getting better every week. You've seen the progression. We saw them drop back one week and we were like, oh my God, who are we going to get? But because the last few weeks they've been a little bit more consistent. What we've seen from the Wolverines in the last 2 weeks is pretty bad. So you got one team trending up, one team trending down. When they meet each other, what happens? Who knows? We don't know.
Who knows? I will say this. Not to cut you off. I will say this.
No, go ahead.
The Wolverines definitely have to worry about Dayton Wynn and Butchers and how good they're probably feeling right now as far as putting up points. But I just hope the Butchers don't forget about a certain receiver on the Wolverines who's a little frustrated. You know, I talked to him. I know he's frustrated. And he's about. I just feel a breakout game about to happen, man. You talking about one of those frustrating games where it's a 3 or 4 burger. You know what I mean? That's one of those 3 or 4 touchdowns. You know, type of games. I think William Young will probably have a big game this week because seeing what Adam did to the Butchers defense last week, William Young is a way shiftier, way big play guy. You know, more than Adam right now. So.
Hey, cool your brakes.
I'm not
going to
be
saying way more. Come on now. We can say 1 and 1A.
What I'm saying
like 1A, 1B. Come on. Hey, don't be
shitting
shitting on Adam Cornette now.
No,
I done put my name on. Don't be shitting on Adam Cornette.
Adam's doing his thing. But I'm talking about if you pull film from all the games, when it comes to catching the ball out on the perimeter, William Young is doing that to everybody.
He is a running back. I give him that.
That's what I'm saying. Like Adam is good, you know, with the yak and everything, but William Young is a way more dynamic player.
Just don't say way. I can't let you just. I'm not gonna just let you just say way out here like that. Like, cause that's what makes it seem bad.
Okay, we'll go
he's a better one.
1B then.
Yeah,
we'll go to 1A, 1B. If that's what you want to do.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to say, let me set the record straight. William Young is a better
running back.
Yeah, he's a better ball carrier than Adam Cornette. I can give you that. But if you throw in a word like way or a lot, that's when I gotta speak my mind. That's all. But you know what I'm saying. Yeah, you make sense. Like it's a little bit harder to guard a running back also out of the backfield when he's usually going to be matched up with a linebacker compared to a slot that you can move a safety or a corner inside on. So that's going to be something difficult for them. But it's going to be the same thing for the Wolverines defense trying to guard Dayton Wynn because he can also line up from the running back position and catch the ball out of there. And I'm not 100% sold on either Quentin Copeland or any of those Finnish linebackers guarding him.
Yeah, hopefully he won't give that matchup.
I'm not even sold on Jabari guarding him out of the backfield. No offense to Jabari, but you're 6'3".
You gotta bracket him. You gotta bracket him. You gotta take him out of the play. You gotta take him out of the play early. I mean, you gotta literally I don't know if say double team, but you gotta literally bracket him so that he doesn't become the first option for the quarterback, man. If they can do that, if they can keep Dayton Wynn from making those big plays, then I think they'll have a somewhat, pretty easy way to win the game. But if he gets loose and he does his thing, even on kick returns, man, the dude is dynamic.
Don't kick him the ball. I don't know why anybody kicks him the ball.
Don't kick it to him. Yeah, do not kick him the ball. I don't understand that. I've been watching that for the last few weeks, and people are literally kicking him. You would be better off kicking the ball out of bounds. Yeah, just kick the ball out of bounds and let him drive. Don't kick that dude the ball, man, because he is way too fast. If he missed 1 or 2 tackles, he's gone. So
you see how he does it though? He is walking, and then he hits 6th gear, in like 2 steps.
It takes off.
And then you screwed because you like, I don't know how fast he's going. I don't know where he's going. And then boom, he gone. So don't even take the chances. Just don't kick it to him. Kick it out of bounds.
Don't kick it.
Kick it off sides kick. Shoot, same result. Just no touchdowns. So those are the games for the weekend. It's going to be exciting. The Butchers game is, now that we've talked about it, it might be more exciting than I thought it was. But I definitely think the Steelers Crocodiles game is a little bit more important when it comes to terms of seeding and playoffs. Because you got the number 2 team going against the number 4 team. This could flip the dynamics of the rankings if the Crocodiles pull it off like you said.
The hot seat.
All right, let's get on the AFF hot seat. It's new this year. Q and I take turns sitting on a hot seat. It used to be you have 60 seconds, but right now it's just as many questions as we want to answer. And the question can be about anything. They're not limited to football. And we don't know what the other person's going to ask, so the question is 100% off the rip. Today, I'm on the hot seat. Let's go.
Yes, you are, sir. All right, here we go. Question number 1. Which is a smarter animal, a monkey or an elephant?
I would think an elephant is smarter. Am I right, Bob?
Yeah, I'll give you that one. If you had to choose between these 2 boxers, which one would you more than likely face? Mike Tyson or Muhammad Ali?
Oh, I'm going to take Ali all day.
You going Ali?
Yeah, because I feel like it's going to hurt, but if Mike Tyson hit me, I might die. Tyson came out a little bit later of a time where, bigger, faster, stronger.
Which of these 2 sports is the most boring? Baseball on TV or golf?
Golf. It's got to be golf. Baseball on TV isn't that boring if you got a good commentator. I don't care who commentating golf. It's boring.
It's terrible. And since you hit me with the question of should women get paid more? That question last week. I got one for you. Question: who is smarter, women or men?
100% women are smarter. That's easy for me.
That's 100%. I think everybody agree with that one.
I think what people
wouldn't know what to do without them.
Yeah, I think what people see as the biggest difference is that women are more emotional than men. Men are more logical thinkers, but we aren't actually smarter. But if you use logic more often, that's why men kind of run the world for right now. Just for right now, ladies. Just for right now.
Just for right now. Make sure you fix that.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Which one do you think is more important, a wedding or the honeymoon?
Obviously the wedding, because the rest of your life can be a honeymoon.
Next one. Who had the most influential touch on the world? Steve Jobs or Mark Zuckerberg?
I say Zuckerberg. The reason I say Zuckerberg, because I think Steve Jobs is great and Apple is great and iPhone and all that. And I think technology, that's great. But what Mark Zuckerberg did was it's a cultural change to the world. Like social media has made the world smaller. Like phones and technology and stuff and even computers has always had like a place, and you could make the world smaller. But making people like have the opportunity to connect with people that are on different sides of the world, like even the technology that wasn't even available then, it can feed into what he brought with social media, which was in its infancy phase. But when it comes to like technology, like that's always going to grow. There's always going to be an innovative technology that does this and does that. 20 years from now, who knows who's going to be, the leading pioneer of that.
Okay, good answer. And another crazy question right now.
Okay.
Do you believe a fish can drown?
No. Can it? I don't think so. Can it?
What do you think is the better movie? The first Lion King or the first Jurassic Park?
Lion King, easy.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good answer. All right, last question.
All right.
Would you rather be hot or cold?
Hot. I live in Finland, man. I'd rather be hot at all times than cold.
And on that note, that wraps up this week's hot seat.
All right, that's it for us on AFF this week. Q, any last words before we get out of here?
Hey, none at all, man. Let's just have some good games this week.
All right, I hope everybody enjoyed the show and continue supporting us for following AFF on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, or Podbeam, whichever platform you listen to. Just show us some love and never forget
TIF. And one thing, I don't want to forget this person. I do want to celebrate the women a lot. We know we talk about American football for as the men a lot, but I do want to give a shout out to the homegrown local girl, Nana, for winning the championship out there in Karlstad, Sweden. So
shout
you a
out to
shout out,
Nana.
Nana. You've been doing your thing, so
First
congratulations.
year as a professional. She go to Sweden. They win the championship. Karlstad Crusaders organization. That's your favorite over there in Sweden.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I'm assuming she's going to the women's European Championships later on this year in the UK.
Yeah.
So keep doing it, Nana. Keep doing it. That's it. We out.
We out.
American football in Finland.